match number 2 sees Ryan J face Gleadell.
Ryan again, a really competent fighter, great pedigree. Be interested to see how he fares here. He's normally about 75 kilos, but he's normally 75 kilos. But he looks like he might be a little bit over that at the moment. But great fighter, Ryan.
And he's up against Josh Gleadell here in this opening round.
Again, Josh, we saw him last year. Josh, he's back. He knows exactly what's in front of him in regards to the caliber of the opponents. He needs to, again, come out, grab them points early.
Greg, I think you hit it on the nail at the very beginning of the opening groups, Group 1. Every bout's a final.
Every bout, without a doubt. If you're not thinking that way, you are not going to win. It's simple as that. You must have that level of intensity every fight.
And Ryan J walking Josh down, looking for that reverse punch to the midsection, and it's been an underutilised punch to the midsection in this tournament, hasn't it?
It's become, it used to be the staple diet of competition karate through the 90s, well, through the 70s, 80s and 90s. Very much led by British fighters as well, and everybody else following us. But it's now changed. It's changed with the rules, changing up the points from only being able to score 1 point with a reverse punch, which means that technique that is very risky now doesn't have to be taken. The risk doesn't have to be taken when you can grab or duck. Going for a reverse punch is a risky technique. If it yields 1 point, whereas back in the day you could get 2 for it if it's executed properly, you ask yourself, well, why am I going to kill myself doing it?
And is that why tonight we've seen so many of the young men duck with some sort of confidence because they're sure that the reverse punch isn't coming through?
Exactly, and that's how the fighting's changed. But I'm a great believer in the importance of reverse punch because, like that, because what it does, it makes a statement about your conviction and your commitment, the principle of sen no sen, of just going forward when someone's coming at you, and that's what makes us karateka. Our ability to move into someone who is coming at us with real intensity and menace, and to just stop them in their tracks. So I'm an advocate for I think it's very important, without great stuff, great kick, without compromising the other techniques. I think that you can bring it all in.
Well, Ryan J is backing up your words. It's almost as if he's heard you, Greg, because that's exactly what he did. He did the reverse punch again, then the hook kick over the top afterwards.
Oh, he's very able, Ryan. He's a very able fighter. I had the pleasure of coaching him in a couple of Europeans and World Championships where he got medals, and he was one of the easiest fighters to work with. This guy knows how to win fights.
Josh has to chase now.
He really does, and in chasing, he's going to be running into a lot of trouble because this is what Ryan does well. He knows he's as a junior, he was one of the most mature fighters out there. He just knew how to fight, how to score points, how to hold on to points, and how to cope with pressure. And now as a senior, you can see that he just has got great composure. Great composure.
And you mentioned maturity, so that as a senior now, and that's another thing, realising that the reverse punch isn't redundant, that you can still use it at the right times. Now for me, he's used that twice perfectly. The second time is a setup, and now he's 4-0 up.
Malcolm, again, very true. And this is so important. Because other people may not be doing it, doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you're following other fighters, especially some of the guys who are winning it in the Europeans and Worlds from other countries, then if you're following what they're doing, you're behind them. If you follow, you're behind. Sometimes you got to reclaim or make something yours, so that they start having to respond to something that you've done and they haven't trained for.
And the old adage from us old timers, Greg, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And us British fighters were known for our ability to hit hard, hit confidently, and stop an opponent. And we've lost that in many respects. And I think if we can actually realign our fighting and understand what our British template is, then that will help us progress again as a nation and become back at the top. Alongside, of course, great infrastructure and the resources that the other countries have got as well. But we need a template. We need our coaches to get together and work out what it is that makes a great British fighter and invest in it. Great technique, that almost was too easy.
Well, the thing was, we said Josh has to chase. Ryan knew that. You talk about that maturity. He was there. He was waiting. He knew what Josh had to do, and the execution was perfect, Greg. That was superb.
Ryan is a smart fighter. Always has been. Always has been. He's not the best trainer. He doesn't. He's you have to get him motivated to get the training. But as a fighter, he's a really smart fighter. And